During this video, we're going to replace the old factory headlights on the Grand Cherokee with some new LED headlights. Now that we got the headlight assembly taken apart, we can focus on putting those new LED lights on this DJ. Welcome back to the channel. We got exciting news today. We are going to put LED lights on the Jeep Grand Cherokee. We're going to do the LED light conversion on our 98 Grand Cherokee. And check out the LEDs we purchased on Amazon. We're going to go with the Bronco Wannabe LEDs. Those are going to look good. So it's going to be plug and play for us pretty much, because we bought the conversion cable and then that will be just plug and play. The problem with the ZJs is they came with a pretty crappy headlight. So we're going to go from this guy to these guys. So the way we're going to do this is actually a company called James Prints, and James is a 3D printer and he prints some good looking 3D parts we're going to put our LEDs in to convert this Grand Cherokee. So it's a two-piece system, comes with both sides, passenger and driver. And then we just basically put these two pieces together, like such. And James even provides hardware to go with it. And better yet, it has the clips already inside. Well, two of the three that we need. That third one is notorious for breaking, but I think we're gonna try to salvage ours. If not, I'll put that link in the description below too, where you can buy these extra clips, along with the 3D brackets, the conversion cable, and these killer looking lights. I'll put all those in the description below. I don't know about you guys, but I'm pretty excited to do this LED conversion on this old Grand Cherokee. Man, these lights are gonna look good. Well, this original headlight assembly is a little beat up. It's broken in many places. You can see the front end here has been hit by a deer. A lot of the marker lights are broken. So the marker lights are loose on both ends, and there's barely any bolts holding this front clip on. Let's start disassembling and seeing if we can keep the clips on the lights here, and see if, like, this marker light looks like it could be good. That one, not so much. We'll see what we can salvage from the other side. But first, let's go to the boneyard. I got a couple more ZJs, and let's see if we can salvage some parts off of that ZJ, especially the headlight assembly, to see if we can, make the mounts usable again for the LED upgrade.
3 days later.
Hey, we're at the parts Jeep. We're gonna steal the marker lights off of this Jeep and put them on the project. They are quite better than the ones that we have on our current Jeep. So we're gonna rob these and make them work with those LEDs. There we go. There's the parts we need for LED headlight swap in those marker lights that are much better than the ones we have. And by the way, we don't have the windshield washer tank on our $100 beater Jeep, so we had to rob that as well. I couldn't leave without taking this little bug deflector. That looked pretty cool on the $100 beater Jeep. Oh, some yummy stuff in here. Ew. Hey, we're back from the boneyard. So let's disassemble these light assemblies that we have and see if we can make one good one. These marker lights get a little tricky. There is a screw on the top of this corner marker light that is already missing. There's a screw in here that we need to try to get this off. All right, I might be getting a little late. Well, I thought I had the drill bit, or the Phillips bit, in my drill. I don't think it's gonna work that way. All right, let's try to get these marker lights off before I maybe fall asleep. All right, let's go. Well, the goal here is to get this headlight off, but you do not want to break these little clips. You can buy these clips actually from aftermarket companies like Mountain Vista Fabrication. So we're gonna have to try to get that one out. That one's good. This one broke off. It's still in the adjusting screw. And this one also kind of stayed on the adjusting screw. So I tried to spray a little brake cleaner in there to alleviate that. So we did get 1 out of 3, and there's just 3 spots. So let's try to get these little clips off without breaking them. And then we'll move to the other side. And remember, we have 2 of these, so hopefully we can make 2 broken ones into 1 good one. So now we got to try to get these little clips out. They're still stuck on the adjuster screws here. So we'll pop those out. There's only 3 on the headlight, so we'll try to get this one out. And then this thing is no good to us. We have the new 3D printed headlight mount for the LEDs. So this one's garbage. Now we can focus on getting the other side off. Maybe we can make 1 good one out of 2 broken ones to make this front end look like a modern day ZJ. All right, I'm getting a little antsy. Let's hook up these LEDs, temporary. I wanna see if they work and what they look like. I'm getting a little curious to see how cool these look in the ZJ. Well, we found out something pretty interesting with these cheap converter cables. Yeah, they're wrong. If you're doing this install, make sure you have a test light. We had to switch the blue with the black, and now we have lights. So make sure you have a test light, because you want to go off the same color that's coming off the factory plug. So that one was black, and it is going into the blue now, which is the ground on the LED light. There we go. So just knowing that, these pins are easy to change. You just stick a little screwdriver in there and pop them out and switch the plugs around. And then we should have a light here. So plug this baby in, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. The camera's not gonna justify how cool this looks. Yeah, they're pretty rad. Now that we got the wiring correct on the low beams and the high beams, I'm gonna plug in these little guys. One is a turn signal, and one is the daytime running light. I'm gonna run the daytime running light off of one of these marker lights. So I'm just gonna tie into one of these marker lights, and then we will have some cool looking driver lights when we have our marker lights on. So let's get that wired up quick. Well, we've been doing the wiring thing, splitting that, putting the provided wire in the factory harness. Now we have it spliced in to the factory harness into the LED light. And check this out. Those halos on those LED lights are bright. Dang! Those are gonna look good. And style points. So now the only thing we have left is to put this all back together. We'll get those 3D printed brackets mounted on the headlight assembly, and then we'll install it on the Jeep. Let's reassemble the headlight assembly with those 3D brackets. So I've been doing this install on this Grand Cherokee, and I have cut my hand twice. Last night I cut it there. I reused my band-aids, and I got cut again. Last video, I disassembled an entire truck and didn't get cut once. But doing a simple install, putting lights on the Jeep, I get cut twice. Crazy. All right, let's get these LEDs in. So I'm disassembling the headlights from our donor Jeep. Wanted to give you guys a little tip here. The big pry bar works really well. So the headlight sits in here, and you can get in there and pry these little tabs off with the pry bar. So you can sneak them in here and then try to get right on these little fasteners. Do a little pry action, and the headlight pops right out. Well, we got the donor headlight assembly all disassembled. She's pretty grody, so we'll wash that in the morning. Had to do a little zip tie repair because this plastic is super brittle, but the clips came out, so we got those that we will use on the new 3D headlight mounts here.
3 days later.
Well, we got the headlight assembly all washed up, good enough to put those marker lights back on, put our 3D printed brackets on there, and we also went on Amazon and we purchased some new bulbs. So we had some bulbs that were bad on the marker lights, so we just replaced these lamps with some new ones from Amazon. I'll put the link to the bulbs from Amazon in the description below as well. All right, let's put this headlight assembly together. Well, here's a fun fact. This marker light is from a 96. This Grand Cherokee is a 97, 98 model, one of the two. And the connections are different. So I was gonna put these on the assembly over there. And I was gonna put the marker light assembly in, but they are different. This is the one from the newer model. Here's the older model. So therefore this connector will not go in there. So I need to splice this assembly because I already spliced it for our LED lights, not knowing that these two were different. So I could have just used this. In the future, if you guys have to replace your marker lights, like me, know that this back can be different. We encountered our first issue with the 3D printed brackets. These holes for the screw mounts, the LED lights are a little thick here, and then you put this screw through this piece into a threaded nut that you insert here. But the holes here are, you don't want to screw them in, right? Because then they get tight here. So I wasn't able to tighten the nuts down on either side because it would just want to tighten in here. Pull these holes out so they slide through. There's 3 of these mounting holes. So you want them to slide through like this, that action, instead of threading through. So drill them out with a 7/64 bit. Ream those holes out a little bit because you don't want to thread them into this bracket. So we'll draw all these out, mount this LED headlight into this bracket. Well, we got the headlight in. I didn't over tighten these, so be really careful tightening these screws down in those little nut inserts. Another tip, make sure you lube these areas where it mounts. Put a little Vaseline or a little grease right there, and they'll pop in a lot easier. It's gonna look pretty rad. Let's put it in. Well, that's a wrap on this video. I hope you guys enjoyed the little install we did with the LED lights on this Grand Cherokee. I can tell you one thing. We are definitely gonna get style points. Those LED lights look pretty rad. For the overall install, it went pretty smooth. You know, we had to do a couple different mods because we needed to put a different grill assembly in there and different marker lights. So our project was a little bit more intensive than just buying these 3D printed brackets to convert to LEDs. And the 3D printed LED brackets look pretty good. I don't know how it would look if we did keep the chrome grille, being a black shell like that, but I think no matter what, it's a big upgrade to those stock headlights that are on these ZJs. I'm excited to use these lights in the upcoming days because daylight savings has hit. It's getting darker a lot sooner, and these lights are going to be quite the upgrade. So make sure you follow us along on this project, and we'll give you our updates probably in a couple 6 months on how we like these LED lights that we purchased from Amazon and if they're worth the price to upgrade your ZJ to LED lights. As always, thanks for watching, and until next time.